to Ahead News 23. Today, we're talking about one of the most powerful, raw, and fearless uprising in Kenya's recent history. A revolution led by not politicians or parties, but by Gen Z. What started as an anger over a controversial finance bill has exploded into a national awakening. Streets once known for traffic are now battlegrounds of voices demanding justice. From Nairobi to Nakuru, from TikTok Live to barricaded parliament building, the youth of Kenya are making it loud and clear. They will no longer be silent and they will no longer be ignored. At the heart of this movement are the young people, the so-called hustler generation, who were promised better lives during the election campaign, but instead got higher taxes, skyrocketing inflation, joblessness, and a future shrouded in debt and despair. The now infamous Finance Bill 2024 was the spark. It proposed absurd taxes on essential items like sanitary pads, bread, fuel, mobile money transfers, and even diapers for a generation already struggling to afford basic meals, healthcare, or education. This felt like a slap in the face. So they did what the older generation never saw coming. They organized, not through political rallies, but through phones, hashtag, TikTok, X, formerly Twitter, Instagram. They became the front line of a digital rebellion that would spill onto the streets with force. Protests erupted under the banner of Reject Finance Bill 2024, Unfollow Ruto, and Occupy Parliament. But this was not ordinary protest. This was Kenya's Gen Z digital native, bold, unafraid, and leaderless by design, standing shoulder to shoulder against the state. They wore black, held handmade signs, chanted in unison, marched to parliament. Even seasoned journalists were stunned. Many said they had never seen anything like this. No looting, no tribalism, no politician, just pure raw energy demanding accountability. But the government didn't welcome this revolution. Instead of listening, it responded with brute force. Tear gas rained down, rubber bullets were fired, reports emerged of live ammunition being used on peaceful crowd. At least 10 people were killed, many of them teenagers and students. Over 400 injured. Police brutality was on full display, and yet the world's camera were largely silent. Why? Because a media blackout had been quietly enforced. Major Kenya outlets reduced coverage. Some journalists were harassed, others were blocked from protest zone entirely. And as the government scrambled to frame the uprising as terrorism disguised as dissent, Kenyans turned to social media to document the truth for themselves. It wasn't just the police violence that shocked the nation. The protesters and the human rights group reported chilling accounts of plainclothes officers, unmarked vehicles, and abduction in the middle of the night. Some demonstrators simply disappeared, others were detained illegally or refused bail. The Kenya National Commission on Human Rights condemned these actions, calling them unconstitutional and dangerous. But the government doubled down, with inferior cabinet secretary Kutere Kandiki claiming the protests were an attempt at a coup and thanking the police for their restraint. The footage tells a different story. Meanwhile, the political class ran for cover. Many MPs refused to show up in parliament. Some deactivated their social media accounts after being flooded with tens of thousands of messages from angry youth demanding they vote against the bill. One MP admitted receiving over 30,000 texts in a day. The opposition, silent or absent. Veteran protest leader Raila Odinga cancelled his appearance at Kamunkunji and later praised the youth from afar. But many in Gen Z made it clear, this is our fight. No political party owns this movement. Even the church, often seen as a moral voice in Kenyan society, came under fire for its silence, or worse, its endorsements of the government. Across 17 counties, the protest spread like wildfire. Schools were closed, roads were blocked. Parliament was fortified with razor wire. Entire section of Nairobi's CBD were locked down, and yet the youth came anyway. Border riders, university students, techies, journalists, and everyday Kenyans all united in one demand: justice. Let's be clear, this movement is nothing about just one bill. It's about decades of frustration boiling over. It's about the pain of watching our parents struggle, our dreams fade, and our leaders still. It's about betrayal of a generation promised a future and ended poverty. It's about Gen Z saying, we are not your political pawns. We are not your silent laborers. We are the future and we demand to be heard. President William Ruto now finds himself at a historic crossroad. Elected on the promise to uplift the Oslo nation, he now faces a generation that feels betrayal and unheard. The very youth who once gave him hope at the ballot are now demanding accountability in the streets. His response, marked by silence, force, and delay, has only deepened the public anger. The big question remains, will Ruto listen, or will history remember him as the president who declared war on his own future? Either way, Kenya's Gen Z has spoken, and they are not backing down. If you found this breakdown important, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our Head News 23 for more fearless reporting. Stay loud, stay sharp, stay ahead.